it's gonna be pretty cool. So I lead off with my Persian. He leads off with a primate, and I knew it was scarfed, so really worried me because I don't really have anything that can handle it. So he switches in the mill tank, and I'm like, okay, there's another thing I really didn't want to see, but whatever, I could deal with it. So at this point, I'm gonna switch in my Guido to take this close combat from the primate, which he actually takes pretty well. Actually, I was surprised that he took it that well, and he's gonna predict me to use stealth rock, even though I really wanted to get rid of that primate, so I went straight for the earthquake, and it cost him his Typhlosion. I was really happy when I saw the switch into Typhlosion. I was like, okay, free kill. So now he switches into Pikachu, and I'm like, this thing is going to HP Ice. I know it, and that's exactly what it does. And Persian, being that it's not super effective, lives it. Nice health. So I use Fake Out again, because if he decides to stay in for some odd reason, it would do a hell of a lot of damage. But instead he switches out to Miltank, which is the better play, the best play, the good play. So I taunt the Miltank because I don't want to see it use any Thunder Wave on my incoming Dragonair, which I expected to come in pretty safely. So I set up the Dragon Dance as he switches into Hypno, which is pretty gay. And then I set up another Dragon Dance because I know the Thunder Wave is coming. I know I can't one-hit KO from this health, which is also pretty gay. So I have extreme speed on it. So I decided to use it and see exactly how much it does, and it does quite a lot. So I figured I could 2-hit KO this thing. It's gonna be great. And he used the Reflect, and I'm like, okay, plus the Reflect, that don't matter because I'm still gonna kill this thing. And he switches out, and I'm like, all right, whatever he switches into is going to get hurt, but not gonna happen because I get paralyzed. And then he sets up an agility, and I get paralyzed again. So, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use outrage at this point, and I just get paralyzed again. So I'm stuck with using extreme speed, which still does pretty decent damage after the 2 Dragon Dances, even behind the Reflect. And I just go down, and I'm like, okay, this Kingler isn't really gonna do much damage because I bring in Hungry Man, who has extreme speed, and just rapes this Kingler, which is great because that Kingler would have been really annoying to take down if I didn't have Hungry Man. So he switches back in the Miltank, and I figured he would go for a Body Slam because he knows I'm using a priority move, so using Thunder Wave straight off probably wouldn't do much. So I switch in Guido, and I'm like, alright, I'm going to force the switch right here because he can't really do nothing to me, so I'm just going to get a free Stealth Rock setup. So he brings in the Hypno, and me being stupid, I stay in and go for a Earthquake, even though I knew the Reflect was coming and should have seen it, but I'm dumb. So I figured I cannot 2-hit KO this thing with Guido, and I know he's going to go for a Wish, so I just go for Espeon because this is as good a time as ever to set up with this thing. So I go for the Signal Beam because I'm pretty confident that I could kill this thing with a Signal Beam, and it just doesn't happen. And I get Thunder Waved, which is horrible because now my Espeon is really useless because it has no speed, shit defenses, can't really do much. Well, not really shit defenses. It's okay. It's not bad. So I go for the Calm Mind, which is pretty good because I predicted the switch to whatever. I don't really care as long as it wasn't Primeape. And then he goes for a Body Slam, and I know I would be able to live this pretty well. So I go for a Psychic, and it does a lot of damage. Pretty good. Enough that I'm be able to 2-hit KO this thing and probably KO it. Yeah, I will be able to KO it even if he Milk Drink. So he just stays in, and he's going to sacrifice his Milk Tank to get the Paralyze off his Hypno and just die, which is great. So Espeon did something, which is always awesome to see a paralyzed Pokemon do something. Yeah, so it's not completely useless. And I see the Primeape come in, and I know it's gonna U-turn, so I decided to stay in because I have no use for Espeon at all at this point. So Hypno comes in, and he gets hit with the Stealth Rock, and I'm like, okay, this is good because then I can send in Hungry Man, and I'm like, you die. That Hypno was just really a pain to take down, but Hungry Man being really strong and destroying people gets it done. And he brings in a primate, and it's an obvious close combat. So I switch out to Laffy Taffy, which is not gonna take the close combat well. And I knew this, but I figured off of this I could get two defense drops and bring Hungry Man back in and just destroy the primate, because I know all he has left is his primate and his Pikachu, which Hungry Man and Guido will be able to get rid of. So I just have to play it right, and he sees what I was trying to do, and he switches out to Pikachu, which gets hammered by the extreme speed, and he had no chance of living in because Hungry Man is just too strong, too hungry, and he just wants this win. So he brings out the Primate again, and I'm like, alright, now I know Guido can take this close combat pretty well, so I figure I could get two more defense drops and then KO it like for sure with Hungry Man on the back and the switching. But what lands up to be the case is I don't even need Hungry Man because Guido actually lives two close combats and then Earthquakes for the win, which is pretty great. I actually didn't expect it to live the second one, but Guido was just a monster. So good game, organic, probably a rematch.